Hi everybody, welcome back to my Stormworks Sea Trials channel. Today I'm going to continue with the Sea Trials of Spider's creations. We're going to be looking at the OPV Cheetah Mk.I. As you can see here in the workshop, it's the 9th creation in the Coast Guard Rescue series. So I'm, just as a reminder, I'm working my way up in size. And this is one of the newer creations from Spider. I really like it. You can see there, actually it's a much longer vessel than it looks, much bigger vessel than it looks. It's just been designed very nicely here. All-round search and rescue firefighting vessel with a rib, as you can see in the back there, a crane, pretty good feature set. And you can see there a set of features, water turret, cannon, stabilized camera, rib, cargo hold, stabilization, autopilot, collision warning, flares, everything you could possibly need. So this is 37 meters, cruising speed 43 knots, top speed I think it's up to 80 now. So let's get in and give her a little sea trial. So here she is. Funnily enough, just one comment to the developers of Stormworks. For some reason when I turn my ship around like that, oh, it's probably this X-plane. Let's turn it off. Yeah. So viewing ships, there's a tradition, and this is a naval architecture thing. So usually you view a ship like this, bow to the right, stern to the aft. It would be really cool if the lighting could be used, could be changed to reflect that, because that's how ships are built, and typically how naval architects always will turn the ship around to look this way. So just have a quick look in the editor first. Nice aggressive style of sort of interceptor cutter. Here I like these low exhaust ports that the creator's got here in the back. If we take a little look through the vessel, we've got essentially void space right up the front, big cargo bay at the back, again with this cargo elevator system. I'm not too sure how that's used. I'd love to see somebody posting a comment of how that's used in the missions. A really nice engine room here with some Lewis script screen in there. Kind of hospital stroke victims area where you put the people you would pick up, so that's quite nice. And then this separate room here for the crew to get kitted out to go outside if it's cold weather. And I can't remember what's on the other side. We'll see that in the sea trials. And a very nice window between that crew area there, which could do with a couple of seats. I guess I could add them. And yeah, up here, yeah, that's right. So it's just an observation view into that. So it's really nice design, full of nice details. I see here there's just an electronic space underneath there. I'll be looking in some of those logic boxes. Let's have a look at the data connection here. So loads of connectivity, loads of electrical things, all coming from one central node there. Going to have a look and see what that is in the future. Large batteries up the back. And she's got all sorts of electronic automized stabilizer systems there, which oh, I didn't realize they could actually be inside, so you learn something every day. So let's spin her in and take her for a sea trial. So the weather is fine as always at the beginning of my sea trials. We'll take a walk around in game mode. So big working deck. A really good launching system here for the rib. I've been in and out on the rib a few times. It's a smaller rib than some of the other creations, but works fine. Not particularly maneuverable, but it's amazing. This is essentially another complete creation here. And it looks like a modular engine, so kudos for getting that stuff to work. Loads of rope anchor points. We've got a large winch here, which is offset, which is not great for towing, as anybody who will know. However, I assume that you can just use this winch here, which is more centralized. It might not have the power of that one, but that's, you know, it's not a tugboat at the end of the day. This probably is the crane control here. Yeah, so you've got your deck crane there. I have tried that. It's a good working crane. No sort of, well, physics obviously being Stormworks physics. Oh, oops, didn't mean to jump in there. So this takes you into the cargo hold. We'll do this part of the tour. Plenty of rope here and basic equipment, and that lift there. And let's just go back out of this one. As you can see, oh, so you can see I've still got my winter gear on. I have to do a little jump there sometimes to get out of these ones. Remember, keep your hatches like this closed when you're at sea. And yeah, and these are actually where the engine exhaust comes out. I quite like that low down design, although in reality maybe not very useful for the people here working on the aft deck if you've got fumes and stuff like that. But I like the look, and I really appreciate, you know, everything that is designed here. Heat sinks here, that's giving it a nice purposeful look. Plenty of storage on the deck. I love these little things there. Fuel system here, as it looks like the sort of fueling up system connected to the tanks. Side gates. So again, nice low entrance here. These are important for getting people at the water, although this size of vessel you'd use your rib to get people at the water, I assume. And as always, we'll do the exterior tour first. So nice side decks here with a ladder which will climb up the other side. This goes into that crew area, which I'll show you in a moment. This one goes straight into the bridge, which is really nice. Only on one side, which is okay. It's not ideal, but in reality you would want that on both sides for a variety of reasons. Great detailing here on the winches up the front. And I see there actually it's a working winch there. Some more storage for hose pipes here. If you're going to do, I guess that's your water. Yeah. So it's something that I've figured out. So you've got your water cannon here, but you can also have somebody using a hose pipe here as a handheld tool, which I've actually got here. And you could if I turn this on, maybe B. Yeah. So that is how you would put out water there, which is really cool. So great addition. You get two-person kind of yeah, firefighting. Nice escape hatch there. Great looking cannon, you know, giving it a kind of warship look, and all the usual detailing that we've come to expect from Spider. I'm going to go up on top here. I've not actually done this before. I've actually got a deck here that's almost, but not quite, helicopter landing size. We've got our flares here by the looks of it. Hatch going inside, but quite a nice working deck here. And of course you can stand up here on lookout and that kind of stuff. Some solar cells, lights, and all these kind of things up on the roof. And of course I was going to do that. So let's just cheat and use the home to get to where we wanted to go. All right, so back on the aft deck. As you can see, I'm learning how to use home screen without the camera. So that's just home button on the key, on the numpad, if you want to know how to get into this mode that allows you to move around freely, and then you hit it again and your character spawns there. So we come straight into hospital area. Really handy when you rescue people, you want to get them straight in bed. And then we've got this nice seating area here. With windows through. I mean, this is just where you'd be hunkering down, watching the waves outside, just hoping that the captain gets you safe back to port. Again, automatic lighting system on all Spider's creations. So this is really the crew area. We can get kitted out in thermal clothing, and we've got a few things like the handheld radio signal locator, flares, a bunch of equipment here. Firefighting equipment, and I'll come back to the bridge. I always end up in the bridge for our sea trial. Great crew quarters in here, I really like it. So I'm actually going to put my clothes in here. More firefighting equipment, equipment store, which I really like here. So you really, on this kind of working vessel, you cannot have enough places where it's easy to access stuff, and when you're playing the game, actually that's all the more the case, where you're saying, oh god, there's a fire, where to get my firefighting equipment. Diving room, perfect. More ropes, so loads of equipment. I love that when you're doing missions. It's pretty important. Let's go forward. So we've got a nice CCTV camera view from the camera looking forward there, and this is our escape hatch where we were before. Takes us outside, and let's be a good boy close that hatch. And yeah, crew mess, where you've got additional empty spaces, is quite nice to put in some of the equipment that you've got there. Again, all of Spider's creations have got kind of automatic drainage pump system. So if you get water coming here, it goes into those fluid ports, I guess, and you can drain out. So very important if you happen to leave windows open, sorry, hatches open, and a wave comes over you and you get, you know, water washing in. So electrical panel here showing us battery, plenty of battery. Beautifully laid out engine room here for these are large engines, and then this lovely scripted engine readout here. So you can see here that temperatures are low, engines are not running, and this is lovely decorative panel here. And this, I believe, takes us into that cargo space again. This is where we fell down, excuse me, in the beginning, and that's pretty straightforward, cargo space. So bigger vessel, plenty of room in the engine room here, unlike the smaller vessels. Crew cabins, it's all kind of separated out here into nice areas, and I love the view out these little windows here. So let's just sit down there. When it's wavy, you can see waves passing by. That's great that this has actually been possible in the game. So don't forget, yeah, this is a kind of medium size. It's not the largest of the vessels that Spider's created. We'll leave that open. It's an interior door. That would be okay. And as you can see in here, we've actually got two nice seats here, unusually, where you can kind of sit behind the two main officers operating the vessel. And this is going to be good if you know, multiplayer worked a bit better. You can have your 4 or 5 people, and you can have a couple of people sitting up here watching the action. You're slightly low, and I love that little observation window looking down into that crew area. So again, we'll just jump up into the captain's seat. Spider's creations all start with this turnkey, then an engine starter. There's loads of automation going on. You can see here all of the instruments that we could possibly need. So good old-fashioned compass ball. We're facing south, not moving yet. Weather indication, tank range, time, and I'm going to start talking about these things a little bit more in my next video. We've got, unlike some of the smaller vessels, we've got this head-up display here, the speed, throttle, fuel, depth. And we've got, let's turn on the screens, radar and map. So these are standard touchscreen again, so we can move around the map here. I don't think there's anything, oh yeah, that's your range. I can't remember how you go down, up and down, left and right of that. Let's turn on all of the monitors. We've got loads of cameras here. This is important when you're operating to see what's going on around your vessel. I've not really had to use that. I've got this gimbal stabilized camera here on the water cannon, and I believe that the technician is the person who operates the water cannon. Emergency beacon, that's if we get in trouble. Our radio, which I have not used yet. Let's just turn on the lights. We don't need any of these stuff. Heater, searchlight is actually movable. And then we've got, oh, high speed mode, that's new. Trim here, this is pretty interesting. Let's give this a shot. That's GPS autopilot, oh nice. So additional display, engine displays. So we'll just give her a bit of throttle, tickle her up, and she's off. So this is a very fast vessel as far as I remember, water jet propulsion. We've actually come up against the side here. So we will get some damage. So I'm just hitting the 5 key, giving her a bit of boost. There you can see water jets. I think most of Spider's new creations are water jets, and these are these electrical thrusters, sort of maneuvering thrusters. I wouldn't mind a stern thruster, I realized when I was berthing one of these vessels, but that system works really well. You can get the vessel to where you need it to be. So let's just give her a full speed run. Normally, real life, of course, you'd warm your engines up significantly. So there she is, full speed. She's got a really nice trim. So that's how much the nose is up or down. So flat would be 0 trim, and that would be positive trim. You never really want negative trim. So let's see what she does. So 100% throttle, 38 knots. Range 345. Wow, that's the most stable range indicator I've seen. So that bumps up and down, of course, with waves and etc. Let's go into high speed mode. Wow, 80 knots. So range dropping down there significantly, but that's fine. That's what happens. Ships are pushing a lot of water out the way. You need huge engines to power them. Really nice. So she's super fast in this mode. Oh, and I like this. So actually, when you turn a ship to the right that's got any kind of weight, it will tip that way because of the centrifugal force of that superstructure pushing her out. So she actually behaves like a real vessel. If you're in a smaller vessel, it's planing one, and you put a lot of right wheel in, it will lean in kind of like a motorbike, and that's because the thrust coming off your propeller is sort of vectoring the boat over a little bit. Somebody else might be able to explain that better, but in a larger vessel they do heel out like that at high speed, and on a smaller vessel they heel into the turn. So she's absolutely flying along here. Let's just check and see. So she revs up to over 1,000, so that's nice. Yeah, so some gearing going on here. Takes her down to 700. And there's some, you can just hear this jiggering about. So that's obviously something in the logic that Spider's controlled here to get the engines down. Engine RPM down, speed down, range up. That's what you'd expect. So I'm going to keep her going along. We've done a turning circle test. Let's try that at slow speed. So she's got a good turning circle. Again, it's just a half circle. Real sea trials, you do a real circle, a full circle, of course, 360 degrees, and you time it. And you do it at a couple different speeds, as far as I know. So you can figure out how she turns at different speeds. You don't really want it to turn, suddenly very badly at slow speed. So one of the things that happens with vessels with a rudder, so if you're down at 30% throttle or 20, let's say even less, and you put your rudder in, what you'll find, vessels with props and rudders sometimes at some point just lose their steerage. This vessel, can't really see, need some land in the reference. Still turning because she's got water jets. So I'm not too sure if that's all modelled, but that's the kind of things you're looking out for as a naval architect, as somebody who's testing these kind of things. So I'm going to bring the weather in. I'm just going to do 50%. Let the waves build up. Quite interesting to see how a boat behaves at slow speed in waves, because basically you quite often at slow speed, while you're doing anchoring or while you're rescuing somebody or any kind of maneuver. So actually this kind of stability is really important. So into the waves, she's fine. And I've now got waves breaking over the bow. So she doesn't have a super high freeboard at the front. She doesn't have a really pronounced bow like some of the other vessels. Just going to turn her side on. So as you saw in the workshop description, these vessels have some kind of stability system. So I'm not too, I think it's fins that are used to compensate roll, I assume. So actually in real vessels, you have fins that sticking out the side that are little aeroplane wings, and they just are automatically going up and down to try and stop the roll of vessels. So ferries, every single larger car ferry has these fin stabilizers, and I saw that we probably can't find them, but inside the hull here, Spider's placed this fin system. I can't see it at the moment, but we did see that in the workshop, and I think that's what's keeping her relatively stable in these beam on waves, as you call them, on the side on the beam. So pretty good. So let's give her full power. Got my doors closed, like I said. So what was she doing? 30-40 knots. So really good handling here. It's got a beautiful hull shape. So she handles really well. Again, these longer vessels are able to just kind of bridge two waves, so you're not getting this horrible pitching, jumping behavior. So let's see if she's doing her 40, yeah, she's doing over 40 knots into full waves. So really good performance there, as we'd expect from anything larger. And this is why simply you want a larger vessel if the weather is bad. So again, we'll go back in here, we'll give her hurricane strength, full wind. Again, the waves take a bit of time to build up. And again, you know, game physics are just not super high fidelity, so you'll get that kind of jumping stuff. In real life, again, you know, certain sea states, the master, the captain, skipper of the vessel essentially just needs to slow the vessel down so she's not jumping. Because landing, when you land like this into a wave, you get a very strong acceleration. It's called slamming. And it damages, it puts a huge stress through all of the structure and all the equipment on the vessel and the humans inside it. So it's that feeling where you're just like, you know, you get just being slammed down. We can handle it pretty well because we're soft, but you imagine anything solid like the structure inside just gets damaged. So let's go give her full power. So she's really kind of flying here. There's a kind of planing physics, as far as I understand, that lifts her up out of the water. But because she's long enough, 32 meters, remember, she's actually handling this strong sea state very well. The waves don't look as big as I'm used to with the full wind. I know that they do build up, or maybe it's as you go further north. But she's handling these high waves pretty well. So let's do the obvious thing. Full power! Alright, so now she's doing the same behavior as some of the smaller vessels. She's jumping out the water, clean out the water, props are out the water, engines are out the water. You hear the engines revving, and then when it hits the water again, you get a sudden kick, which is quite funny. Be interesting to see our engine temperatures there, sort of up and down. So they goes up as she comes out the water, comes down as she sucks in water. I'm assuming that's what's being simulated here. So this is showing you how good the Stormworks simulation is. Sorry, we're nearly over there. So the wind had blown me around to a beam course. Let's just do downwind for a laugh. Okay, yeah, kind of unrealistic physics kind of behavior, but I think if we bring her down even to a 37, she'll be really good. Yeah, so pretty good vessel. You're not going to do your 60 or was it 70 knots she does in high speed mode in winds like this, but you can still get to your victims, the people who need rescued at 40 knots, which is pretty good. So I can't even remember what I was doing in the rest of the sea trial. So I think it was night time. So let's take that weather back down to 10 or 15, just so we've got a few nice waves. And the other thing to test, we could do a full stop. So what I found is that the physics here are not particularly realistic. Going from full speed, and we'll try the other thing, which is to go to full reverse. 4, does that work? Yeah. So pretty amazing. Water jet craft actually can go from full forward to full reverse. So on even larger vessels, they have buckets which go down over the water jet and go from pushing forward to pushing full back. And those buckets, of course, are made to handle that kind of acceleration. So you literally do that, and even very large vessels can stop in a very short distance. So that's what that full stop maneuver would look like, you know. So maybe you would do from full forward, hit reverse, and then the clutch, and you're stopped. I've been in a jet boat, a rescue vessel for offshore oil rigs, where we did that, and it's like hang on for dear life, because unless you're strapped in, it's a very severe acceleration. So last part of the sea trial, let's get our lights on. So navigation, main searchlight, other searchlights, and that's it. Then we'll put her into nighttime mode, and there she is. So she's got a lot of searchlights, forward looking, underwater forward looking, looking straight down, as you can see here, at least 2, maybe 4 on the bottom, and looking out to the back, obviously, and the sides. So full complement of searchlights. Very important when you're searching for some people who are stuck or in trouble, and when you bring the waves on there, you can really see. Oops, so we're still on full throttle, but you can see how far those searchlights go, and there's a steerable one on the front as far as I remember. So great vessel. I mean, all of Spider's vessels are great. This is just, you know, next level up. It's a larger multi-person vessel, and what I found is you can play this with, you know, 2 to 3 people. It might be just your dinghy launching and stuff like that doesn't work, but if you're just picking up people from the water, Spider's creations are really good for multiplayer. And look at this bridge, really good visibility. I can see all the way out over the sea on that side there, and all the way out on that side there. So it's a really good visibility, I think. And we can use our night vision goggles now. So let's have a look out over there. So we pitch up and down. You can see over the waves, good draw distance. Stunning simulation. So let's put our normal binoculars in, and we can use them for next time as well. That's all from me. I hope you like this sea trial. I will be doing, I think, 2 more vessels from Spider, and then I'm going to be getting on to whatever else you want me to do. I know not many people watch these videos yet, and some of the creations from, is it Lorgs, I think it is, who's probably got the most complex, most amazing ones. There's loads more to go, so if you like these videos, don't worry, I'll be doing them for a while. So let's shut it down. Okay, that's probably not the way to shut down this vessel, and I'm going to sign off for now. See you later.